very embarrassing. I did not click live. So now I'm live. Hello everyone, my name is Spore. I am a self-learned developer, junior developer. I did not click live. So now I'm live. Hello. I call myself a junior developer only because nobody is here to call me an intern or a loser. Self-learned developer, junior developer. And
That's
hello,
so
Lily.
cool.
How you doing, Lily? Thank you for being here for my first.
I'm doing horrible,
stream.
Actually. I'm doing really badly, but you know.
Shit.
Who cares?
If it has to do with online drama, I don't want to hear it. I'm not involved in these things.
What? No, it has to do with work. I was working from 9:30 to 4:30.
Damn, that sucks.
It's not even that it sucks. The worst part about my job is that it's very well, yeah, I guess. But I just wish it was more consistent. I don't have like a consistent set of hours. I don't have a consistent schedule, and it sucks. I worked for 8 hours, and now I'm gonna have off until Friday. And Friday and Saturday, I'm only gonna work like 4 hours each.
Damn, that's crazy. Hey, I mean, you can come here and you can vent about it. It's all right. My door's open to you, Lily. I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
but I'm not a coder.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
I'm not a hacksaw.
So my goal here is to create things on the internet and interact with people. I've learned a little bit about coding. I don't want to say I'm a dev. I want to code, live and do it. So okay, so I'm very late. Sorry everyone, but I'm gonna ping. Are you all right with that, Lily? Can you stay with me for about 10-15 minutes or more? You can stay.
Just do it. Do it. Or I could do it.
I'll share my stream, I guess. Can you Yeah, I'll share my OBS with you. Alright, you got the output.
Yep.
Okay, well, I it's very silly. I did an intro by myself, and so I'm gonna close my window now and my windows and show my pretty background.
Now you're here to do an intro with me. Ooh, crazy.
Oh, yeah, you get to vent about your stuff, and I get to not be alone for my first stream.
You get to teach me how to code. Today I'm learning how to code with Spore.
You're pretty good with OBS, though. I mean, I got a little bit of help from Tuna. I think that because I talk technology all the time, that gave the impression to people that I'm like some kind of an expert in OBS, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'm the OBS. I'm the OB expert.
OB expert. No, I'm learning how to use that software. It's nice. It's a really nice piece of technology.
It's pretty easy once you have all the frickin' basics.
Oh my God, Tea Cakes! I missed you, Tea Cakes. It's great that you came. If you watch this video later, then well, hello.
Shout out to that guy. Whoop.
No, it's a person I invited from some other group, so that's cool.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I just want to interact with the internet, and I think that what everybody does, the content, is fucking lame. It sucks. I watch it, like I love the people, I love the communities, but sometimes, like Anyway, I'm not gonna say
Wait,
names,
no drama! No drama! Bad Spore!
Therefore, I was like, okay, I wanna interact with
You
this.
said-
I wanna exist in it, but I don't wanna make drama. So I'm gonna do things that I'm interested about. I'm gonna code.
Yeah. Little code monkey. Is that racist? You're European. I don't think it
no,
is.
it's fine. I've put the thing for 18 plus anyway. We can be racist.
I don't think that's what that means.
Okay.
I don't think you're allowed to be.
Shit, that's
Yeah.
like half my script goes out the window now. That's not true. I don't have a script. Okay.
Damn. You should though.
I wanted to talk about programming and design patterns. I mean, you don't know anything about programming, so you're gonna be super lost. It's gonna be great.
Hey, wait, Spore.
The point here is to interact with people and talk about really, really boring shit.
Can you please share your screen and not your OBS? Like,
What do you mean? You want to
the
see
website.
like
Yeah,
the
share your
back end?
browser. No, I want to just see what you're looking at on your browser.
Oh, you picky. Just give me a second, I'll do that. And by a second, I mean 20. At least.
Hey, it's okay. You're learning.
I'm not sure
This
I want to
some good
review
sounds.
content, so that's what you people
No.
do, but I need to resist. I
No,
need to
of course not.
resist.
Of course not. Of
But
course
we
not. Well,
eventually we're gonna do it. But I want to set the stage. Like I need to create.
Wait,
I want to
wait,
have a
wait.
sort of an educational
Spore.
value to my stream. Yes.
Spore.
Go ahead. I listen
You are
to
sharing the wrong window. I would like to see the... What is this one? What's this tab? Love 11.3? The thing you're showing to chat is what I would like to see here in Discord.
Jeez. Like I mean, I have to make all of my viewers wait for you.
It's yeah, you do actually. Yeah, because they suck and I'm cool.
That's how it works. I did not know.
Yeah. Yep.
I was told you shouldn't pay it. Yeah.
Who told you that, huh? Duckbringer?
Yeah, I think
Resi?
that was a bad thing. Listen to them.
Well, I mean, you should listen to Reservoir.
Yeah. Okay. This is the browser window I'm gonna work.
Yay!
Let's
We
move
did
things
it! Anyway, Rez is gonna tell you immediately that you should have a script. That's the first. I think that might be the first or second thing he tells you.
All right. So now, Lily, you're gonna have to follow along. Now I'm gonna talk about design patterns. Do you know what that is?
Nope, but you're a good teacher.
I'm not a teacher. Nothing I say here should be taken seriously.
Motherfucker, you're teaching me how to code today.
I'm a little guy. I'm just a little guy. Okay.
That's what I told everyone. I went into every self-promo and I was like, Spore's gonna teach me how to code.
You did not. I am in all of the self promos. I would know. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, fine.
I'm ready to post this shit.
All right, let's go.
It's real. Where do I find
It's
the
real?
link? Oh yeah, I put it in chat. Thank you, Lily. Alright, are you interested in coding at all? Is it something that you want to learn? Because if you're not, I mean, you can just stay here and talk about whatever you want.
Or
yes.
Yeah. Can you show me like your not what you were showing me before, but like, can you show me your OBS, like where your screen?
You're gonna have to like get your shit together.
Okay,
and
but
look
I
at
think
the stream on YouTube.
that there's no sound.
What do you mean there's no sound?
I mean I unmuted the stream right now, and I don't hear nothing from it.
You're gonna have to like get your. I do hear. You're wrong.
Okay. I mean,
but thanks.
I'm wrong.
That's okay. You might be right though. I mean, I absolutely value your comment.
Nope, it's there. I hear it now. It's fixed. I fixed it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's great. All right. So design patterns. It's an advanced concept of programming. Like little guys and girls and critters like us should not really dabble in it. But I'm gonna do it anyway because I don't give a shit. And so, before all this happened, before I started the stream and did not go live, I wrote a little bit of code.
Interesting.
So, design patterns, they're going to do three things. They are going to create things, they are going to give a structure, and they are going to tell a behavior. So inside of a program, you're gonna have a creational. You need to create things. You need to tell them what to do, and it needs a structure. So today we're gonna look at one of each. Now, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna create a button in Love2D Lua. What you're looking at right now, this is the main loop. This is the main loop of Love2D. So Love2D is an engine. What it does is it links the hardware. It links the keyboard, the screen, all of the hardware in your computer to this. It gives it an endpoint that you can work with. You can, it's not going to be as complicated as creating everything from scratch. I'm not as good as I can't create an engine from scratch. So you're gonna have these three functions. They are the basic functions in the Love2D main loop. Love load, that's going to be loaded once when you start the program. Love update, that's going to be this is where the loop is going to start, and this is like everything that's here from in between love update and below. That's going to go. That's going to be ran 60 times a second. Now let's add a button. I had made a little hello world there, but the point is not really to do hello world here. I want to talk about the patterns. So I started making a button here. I'm gonna go over what it is. So in Lua, actually I'm just gonna delete it and start over.
No, don't do that. Just start a new project.
Okay, so if you want to learn programming, it's going to be a lot of microtyping is pretty important, like being able to write fast. So any opportunity you have to write shit, like even if you have like simple code that's already made, if you have time and energy, if time isn't really a problem for you, you can write it instead of templating, and until you remember those constructs, or at least remember what they do and where to use them. So the first thing you're gonna need
notes to yourself.
Basically, all of the time. Like in this button.
Are these constructs like functions, basically?
Okay.
Because from what I remember, a function is
Okay,
essentially a series of instructions that you create as a template and then can put in other places. That's what I remember.
The building blocks of programming, that's about right. I'm really not the kind of person that's gonna roast you for being wrong. I'm wrong all the time. And when you realize you're wrong is the moment you stop being wrong. It's great. You're not wrong. That's a function. Basically, the difference you're gonna have between variables and functions. So the main building blocks are gonna be variables and functions. A variable is going to define the parameters. It's gonna define an attribute of something. So let's say my name. It's the variable of my personality is my name, and so oftentimes you're gonna define it like this. You're gonna. I don't want to do like interview shit where I make a program with my name and explain. I hate these. But here you can see this is a variable. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna start over again. Alright, that would be a good way to show you how variables and functions are different. Now, because this is a main loop, they are within a function already. But you need to not really pay attention to that. But, like, yes, a function, what it does is it takes variables, it manipulates the data in it, and then it will return you an object that is defined by these variables. So let's say here I want to write something, so I can set a variable to define the position X and position Y. It's generally the most. And so in Lua, they're declared local. There's two ways to. I'm not gonna go into too much details, but do you know the difference between a global and a local variable?
I think I can infer the difference based off the two different names. A global refers to like the whole program, and a local refers to a specific part of it.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. You explain it better than me.
That's because you need a script. Anyway. You're doing a good job, Spore.
So variables in Lua are declared. They're declared global by default. Global variables are just bad, so it can be accessed by the whole program, and that's bad because then you could name something the same name into another part of your program, and they could interact, and that would be very bad. So in the linter in Lua, it guards against this. If the variables. If I just write anything and then I put the equals operator, it declares a variable. So like with
Sorry,
equals.
did I interrupt?
So let's say I want to print something in the middle of the screen. I'm gonna have to like create a variable for it. Cool, because I wanted to. Now what this does, it just takes the height of the screen and divides it by 2, so it's gonna appear about in the middle.
Wonderful. I think you have something in front of what you're typing on OBS.
Right, so you get variables. It's wonderful. Now those are tiny functions. So love graphics get width. That's a function. It's just within the engine, so I don't need to define it. Which is called a callback. It's a callback. It already exists. It doesn't. You don't need to like tell the program what to do. It already knows what to do and it does it. Now, same thing here. I'm gonna use a function from the engine. Now it print. Only difference is that I have to define the parameters. So while get width, get height, it's all done. You know, it's all within the system already. It's been handled by the cool people that made Love 2D. Now that's the point where I have to build stuff, and now it's telling me right now. You need to put text. You need to put X, Y, rotation, scale X, scale Y. I don't know what OX and OY is, but I probably don't need it. Anything you don't need, there's always a default value. You don't need to enter everything. So if you only need to put text and you don't care where it's gonna appear, you can just put text. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put text. Now I'm gonna put the position that with the variables that I put just above it. So the text is a string. We're gonna put welcome to my picnic. Every time you put a parameter, you need to put a comma to separate them in Lua. In Java and most C languages, I think that comes from C. By the way, Lua is a fork of C. So any
unrelated question to any of this, but for coding, does it have its own spell checker for if you misspell one of these things?
Yes, it's called the linter, and the one I'm using right now is called it's LuaJIT. It's the one that's automatically you need to install it with the extensions on VS Code. Depending on what editor you're using, it's going to be different. Sometimes you need to install the plugins manually. VS Code is very user friendly. I recommend someone who starts to use VS Code. However, it's not necessarily my favorite IDE. NeoVim's pretty cool. There's a lot of the first thing I think you gotta do if you want to learn programming is try different tools and get comfortable with them. And tools that are boring, like stuff that you talk about it and people are like, that's boring. This guy's a geek.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love them. Like I'm super excited watching like a new IDE plugins. I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. Every time I learn to I learn to use Docker, I learn to use Git. Every time I learn to use a new plugin, it's a good feeling. I like it. That's how you know you're gonna like programming, is if you're excited by the super boring shit. So now I'm putting the text and I'm putting the variables that I just made, and you can see they're lighting up. Like once the variable is linked, it's going to be once it's unlinked, it's going to be a little bit darker. Why? And also what happens is basically it prints this thing 60 times a second. Now I didn't put any color, so it will just print black everywhere and I'm not going to see anything, so I have to set the color. Whenever you want to make a different color, you need to put it in the loop. You need to pay attention to where you reset the color. So a good thing to do is to put spaces between your statements. Like, okay, I've defined my variables. It's a good practice to put spaces in between whatever operations you're making. Those numbers are RGB values, so you're not supposed to hard code stuff, but RGB values generally is fine. I guess I could make, like, I could store it. The best practice, so let's just do it because it's best practice. The best practice is to store variables in advance, so like I can do, I can create colors by making local. Let's say I'll make black. Right, so instead of putting the numbers down, I can just put black because it's been defined now, it's stored.
You need sound effects for when you're typing.
I think people hear it. You don't, but it's because I need to push to talk. People can hear it.
Time.
Sorry, I wasn't pushing. I was explaining this and not pushing push to talk, so you couldn't hear it. People can hear me because they hear my desktop. But I have to push to talk, so people can hear me type, but you can't.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit.
Right, okay, so this is the... I guess that shows the difference between variables and functions. A little bit here, although I'm gonna make more later. So let's test this. Woohoo! It's working. I just need to put it. It's silly. It's really just a black screen with text, but whatever.
Not like that. That's cool.
Woohoo! Now, okay, yeah. Math is hard, you know? So, I mean, it's not centered because the text has a length. So we would have to, like, let's do that. Let's do it. Let's calculate the length of the text. Alright, so this is the workflow. You've got a problem, you're like, oh shit, how do I calculate the length of text? And you go into the reference guide.
Welcome is my picnic? Welcome to my picnic. Okay.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I don't know, I came up with that name because I was reading the book Roadside Picnic by the Arkady brothers, who are Russian authors. That it's the book that inspired the series Stalker. It's a classic. You should read it. It's pretty good because it's about this guy who's he lives in the US and there's like something that happened. There were visitors. It's alluded that it's probably aliens. And well, I guess it you know, it sort of ruins your life when aliens invade your hometown. And they invade this place and they leave. But nobody knows what happened. Nobody was able to see what happened. It's a good book because of that. Like, the events that are central to everything in the book, it's never defined exactly what it is. But we know it's like there were visitors and they left a bunch of shit behind. So it's called Roadside Picnic because it's kind of like the aliens, they were just here for a picnic. Like, they stopped on Earth. They did a bunch of shit that had huge impact on the lives of everyone involved, and then they left because they don't, you know, it alludes that the aliens don't even perceive humans. They, like, in their mind, and that was just a place to stop for a picnic, and that was their garbage. But all of the anomalies that are left, they wreck the earth, and like everybody's trying to get them and sell them. Like, there was a big anti-capitalist critic in the book. They were Soviet dudes, so.
Oh, gay.
Alright, so the workflow of a programmer goes like this. You do silly shit with your variables and your functions. And then you're like, oh no, I don't know what to do. You go into the documentation and you read. So let's find. I'm going to go, I think it's Love Graphics. And get font. Love Graphics, get set font. The documentation, it goes a long way. If you're wondering how do I start with my programming language, I mean, LLMs, they can help, books can help. I would say you're gonna get more valuable information out of books, and if you want to use an LLM, the best way to do it is to code shit according to what you see in the book and the reference guide, and then you can show it to the LLM and get help debugging it. Otherwise, it's really boring coding. You just end up basically doing what the LLM tells you.
Yeah.
And that can be nice at first because you progress. You're like, hey, yeah, I've created a program, but you can lose control of it really fast.
Yeah, you wouldn't be learning then.
I don't know. I don't wanna criticize. I don't wanna.
If you use an LLM, you're actually making yourself a brain dead idiot.
You can. That's the thing. The risk is there. Like, I'm not gonna argue against or for it. I think there are arguments for using LLMs to learn, and against. Unfortunately, I think there's more against it, just because of the way that the industry is made. They've put so much money on LLMs, but it's not that useful, and so they really want to sell it. They want to make, like, they really push LLMs as things that people really shouldn't use in areas that people really shouldn't be using them for, like, you know, maintaining anything that has to do with safety systems on websites with LLMs. It can be risky.
Yeah.
It's very risky, actually. There's been saw a video about Primetime. He was saying it's happening a lot of people, they make their website, they make their database, and then they integrate an AI. They're like, wow, this AI technology is very cool. We're gonna be able to cut off on spending. And god, the music sounds really new age right now.
It's good. It's good music.
Okay. But what happens is it creates a vulnerability because a user can prompt and get access to the whole database. Because what happens with LLM is that you get an endpoint, and you can give it instructions, but beyond that endpoint, you really can't do anything about what it's doing. And so it's not always reliable. When it comes to safety, like, on paper, it should be doing everything according to the safety procedures it was instructed to. But if it doesn't, the people who gave you the model that you're using, they don't know how to fix it. And, like, it's not that we don't know what the LLM does. Like, people who create LLMs know pretty much how the tokenization of the words and everything goes on. Is that you cannot access it while you're developing, and so you cannot create safeguards to make sure that the LLM doesn't do something stupid. You really have to sort of trial and error and feed it instructions and sort of hope that it goes in the right direction, but you can't really force it there. And so a hacker could use system prompts and stuff like that to convince an LLM. It would, like, eventually it's going to get to a point where it's going to be easier to convince an LLM that you're a legit administrator of that network than it is to do it with social engineering. That was a lot of words.
Yeah, and I'm drinking. I'm drinking and I'm getting high, okay? You're quickly losing my attention. Yeah, well, you're not drinking, so...
I am, a little bit. I don't drink a lot.
Oh.
I drink a tiny little bit tonight. That's not true, I'm drunk as fuck. But I'm high as fuck. I don't drink because I don't know, man. Lily, drinking over time, it's not the same. You'll get it when you're older.
You should lower the music. That's what Ducky told me. Ducky personally told me that you should make your music a little quieter. God damn it, VegCom. Why are you not chatting? Evil VegCom. Evil VegCom.
Okay, I mean, have you ever heard of social engineering?
Yeah. That's what they do on Facebook.
I mean, yeah, that's what they call it. I mean, it's called like that because it sounds a little bit better than manipulation. But it's manipulation.
You know what? You know what social engineering is? When you slip drugs in someone's drink and they go to sleep. That's social engineering right there.
That's assault. That's just assault.
What?
Plain assault.
Damn it. I told the police I'm a hacker. I'm hacking. I'm hacking her brain.
It's a social experiment.
Yeah, there's the cameras right there.
It's called social engineering because, oh yeah, I did put in the title that I wanted to talk about the ethics of hacking and philosophy. So social engineering, it's important to consider it as engineering. Because you need to do that on objects. You don't engineer people. That's not an ethical thing to do. Engineering people, I guess, the closest ethical way you could do it would be being a salesman. In the IT department would be social engineering. For IT job, it's going to be referred to a lot for sales. So I worked in a call center for an ISP provider. That's not experience in tech, okay? I was just talk to people on the phone. That's not like, okay, you work with tech a little bit, but I was not an IT specialist. It was for ISP providers, and we would basically tell people to turn it off and on all day, and then sell them shit. Like people call whenever you call to whenever you have a problem and you call them, you're fucked. They're gonna try and sell you shit, and
Can you respond to the message I sent in chat?
Bruh, Lily.
Read it out.
I'm gonna forget what I was talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I need to go get dinner.
It's convincing someone to do something or against their best interest. It can be asking them to brush their teeth. Yeah, it could be that. I guess. I follow VegCom, but I don't listen to her. I should probably. I mean, it's that sometimes I see that she's there, but there's only one person in the chat, and I yap a lot. I don't want to be the only person yapping. So social engineering, and if you go in IT jobs, you're gonna do it a lot, and that means you're gonna lie. You're gonna lie to people a lot, and you cannot work in a call center or anywhere that has a sales pressure on you and not sell and just do the bare minimum, you're not gonna get fired, but you're eventually gonna get your hours reduced, and you're just gonna be treated as an undesirable person until you leave, or eventually conflict happens and you get fired. But it is sadly part of the IT business to do social engineering that will sometimes involve. So as a systems administrator, it will involve lying. It will involve covering up for some people. You don't just tell credentials about a user in your network, let's say. There are a big set of ethics about that like if someone is to trust you and join your network, you have to sort of like express that you're not going to abuse of that trust. If that makes any sense. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the coding part. I'm gonna go back to this. So I'm gonna have to put a timestamp. Now I'm gonna go into the constructive part where I actually show people how to do something. We're gonna create a button in Lua. First thing you need to do, and the design pattern that this is it's a factory pattern. This is a factory pattern. Hello, Vitcom. Alright, so let's go with the button factory pattern. The idea I'm gonna not press on I'm gonna try and go fast while I'll write this, so I'm not gonna press on the push start for a few seconds. Okay. First thing you need to do to make a factory pattern in Lua is you're gonna make a default constructor. It's not a constructor per se, it's a constructor quotation mark. It basically just tells your module that you're going to store everything that's happening inside of the module. You're going to store it within a table. Everything in Lua is a table. That's basically the only defined data type in Lua, which makes, it's very strange for a lot of developers to come from Lua and start learning Lua. A lot of developers will be like, what's the point? But what's useful is that you can mimic a lot of things using Lua. So to make a button, I'm gonna make the constructor. Declare it locally, button, and it's really just two curly braces like that. The first thing that needs to be done. Fuck up music. Okay, the first thing that needs to be done is a new function. So we're gonna make it function button new, and in this function we're gonna define the parameters. Those are basically the things that you're going to use to build your object. So we're gonna put position X, Y, width, height. So those are the things that I need inside of my button. I'm gonna need text. I'm gonna need it to do something, so func. I'm gonna need it to I guess have parameters. So maybe I could make more buttons that do more things in the future. So func p or func par. That's gonna work. And now in Lua, factory patterns won't. There is no actual. There is no. Yes, you'll store it basically like a grocery store. I like the default construction in Lua, the little table, because it really gives you a little. It's like a little container where everything you're writing, it's gonna go there inside of this little box. All right. Now, there's many ways to do this, but one thing proper to Lua is that in order to make sure that inheritance works in the future, if I want to make different buttons but that do different things, you just have to set a meta table with the index method. So basically what this does, it just tells you that if I create an object with the button table as you know, I create a table with an object that I extend from this factory pattern, it will tell it to look into the index. And so later, if I want to make like a red button, I don't have to rewrite all of this stuff. I can just add the color and everything else is going to remain in the, like, I'm not gonna have to create different buttons for every little attribute. So there's many ways to do this. I like to do to set it as a self variable. Some people will set it as object. I like to put self, so you have to do it manually by saying local self and then you set a meta table. And what this does, it tells Lua to look for the missing attributes inside of this module. Of course, the encapsulation here, what's going to happen is it's going to be encapsulated in between the default constructor and the return statement. So I do the same thing within my new function here. I define the place where it's going to be stored. It's going to be stored in self, and then I make a return at the end. And in between, I set the attributes. So all of the stuff that are in parameters, it's just going to be the same for now. We're just linking them. So self.x equals x. Self.y equals y.
I'm back. I got my dinner.
Self. Well, hello, Lily. You should probably listen to me on YouTube if you want to listen, because it's easier for me not to push the talk. But if you want to talk, I'll.
Okay.
Unless
then I'll just go. I guess I'm just getting kicked off now.
Yeah. I mean, thanks for showing up. It's great.
You're welcome.
Having you around.
Yeah, we need to schedule a day where I help you with OBS. Yes. And also write a script for next stream.
I do have a script. I'm writing it right now. It's a programming script, I guess. All right, I'll keep doing this. So self.width. Height. Now text. Okay, text, let's say here the positions, anything that are like, those are not implicit. This isn't necessarily the safest way to do this, because you don't have types and stuff. So a good way to sort of infer types temporarily in Lua would just to put the OR operator. So like X or 0. This way it's gonna return 0 if there's nothing. If there's nothing in future object, it's not gonna make the program crash. It's just gonna appear somewhere.
We have reached our destination.
Okay, self. Now we are at text. I'm gonna put text or now it infers a type, so that's a string. I guess no text. Func. Here again, I'm gonna safeguard. I'm gonna make sure to make sure that I get something if something goes wrong. I'm gonna make func, or I'm going to make a lambda function. With a print statement. No function sign. There we go. End. So basically, that's not the best way to do this, but it works. It's gonna throw a it's gonna throw a mistake if I don't have the function set properly. And func param, that thing is completely empty. I'm just gonna put. I'm probably not even gonna use it. It's just. It's good. In the future, functions they'll generally have parameters. Especially for a button, for something that's in the UI. So I want to create like the basic foundation of it, and then I think everything is done. Func param. No, I said I'm not gonna add anything. So we have our new function here. So that's I don't know what that would be. Well, that's the factory. That is the composite. That is the composite. So the structural pattern here is a composite, where I define different attributes and I link them in the parameters of the function that's going to be used to create the button later. Now I'm going to make a function to return mouse presses. So function button dot. No, okay. Lua has a pretty cool thing. Now I've set the everything is gonna be instantiated as like when I instantiate the button. So when I create the object of the button in let's say in a menu UI, it will be referred to as self. Now Lua has the double. Has this syntax. The double point, the double dots. I don't know what the name of that syntax is in English, unfortunately. So this defines it as self. So instead of putting in the parameters, like I would have to put self in the parameters, but because I put this, I don't have to. But that's just a little thing that Lua does. That's pretty handy. This way it's because this way it's easier to identify that, okay, this is a function that has been constructed. It doesn't need to be reconstructed all over again. For the No, this is that called a semicolon when there's the two dots? Because the other one would be the semicolon, which I can use the semicolons to end statements in Lua, just like in JavaScript. But my first language is that's cool. My first language is French. What's the name? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna waste my time. It's the two dots. And you see the linter is kind of like telling me what it is. It's telling me that it's looking for a table inside of the index. So that's right. Okay, just a colon. I'll look it up for the next stream so I don't look that stupid. Alright, so the mouse button is gonna need an X, it's gonna need a Y. A button is touch. That's just a standard for Lua. We have this, basically, this is the main loop, right? So whenever I press a button on my keyboard, it's gonna be registered here, and then I'm gonna have to pass it along. You know, I'm gonna have to pass it along the button by using this check pressed. And so you can see the parameters here. There are 4 parameters. It's the same thing as in the main. So that's what we are building. Okay, check press. That's a pretty cool construct. It's just to return the position of a mouse cursor and whether it clicked or not. Well, you need to verify if your cursor first. First, you're gonna need an if loop. And there's gonna be a bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna put parentheses. Yeah, I'm gonna do some arithmetic and comparisons. Let's go. So I'm gonna call it mouse X, just because it's clear like that, and mouse Y. If mouse X, and so if my cursor position X is in the radius of the cursor. I mean, the radius is 0, but we'll put the radius anyway. So the position of the mouse and the size of the cursor is larger or equals to self. Yeah, self.x. Right, so you need to see if it's bigger. Alright, I'm gonna start it over and get a little slower with that. So if the position X of the mouse plus the size of the button is bigger than the button, so self is the button that we built above, it's bigger than self X, and so that would be the right side of our cursor. So if the right side of our cursor gets on top of the button, and if it's still on top of the button, so if it doesn't go beyond and outside on the other side of the button, so now I'm gonna put mouse X plus button. Hey, what the fuck is this? Mouse X, and now it's going to be minus cursor radius. I called it button. And now we're gonna calculate the width. That's where we need the width. Self X, mouse X minus button. So it's gonna be, we're gonna check if it's smaller or equals. I'm gonna check, I'm really bad with mathematics. Self.x. Right, so now we're checking that it's on top of it, and we're checking that it's still on top of it. So once it's no longer, like, once the cursor has passed the button, it's no longer going to return true. Right now it returns false by default. Now I'm setting the conditions that make the mouse button return true. And I'm gonna have to add the Y position. So we're gonna have to do the exact same thing with the Y axis. Mouse Y plus button.
We have fulfilled our mission.
Oh wait.
It's time to make our way back. I start the pulse engine and give it a tenth of a thrust. That should be enough to take us out of the critical area.
It needs to be another operation. So here we got one operation that gives us the position of the cursor on the x-axis. Let's do the same thing with the y-axis. Just button. Y. Now it's gonna be, yeah, it's smaller. I just gotta look right above. Oh, I didn't even have to think about that one. I didn't have. Minus height. So we're doing the same thing, and I put the wrong operator. Cool. That's clean, I think. That looks nice. So we got a first condition. Cursor, it's on top. The cursor is on top of the button. So first thing I'm gonna do is check the parameters, func param. So I'm gonna make another if loop in this one. Yeah, func bar. If self func bar. So if there are parameters in whatever button that we create, you are going to execute those. Yeah, otherwise if there are no parameters, you just execute the function. There we go, I think this should work. Yeah. And this is it for the check pressed function. You can add a little comment here. Returns mouse position. You can add a little comment on top of the function. This way, whenever you use it, the comment's gonna appear in the linter a little bit like it does here when I look at my well, they're not defined, but like if I save this and I go here, make a require stuff button. Is Dutch says that it's not used, it's here. Because I would need to need to create. So this is a constructor. Very, very simple form of constructor. I build a button, I make a require. Oh my god, I'm tired. Yeah. And we've got the function that we just made is here. So I'll put a new one, and then it's gonna tell me all the parameters that I've just defined. They're gonna appear here, and when I go and put check pressed here. So when I go and I do self button. I guess I would have to put something in it. Okay, focus. Oh, that doesn't work if it's the same. In here we pass the parameters. Such. There you go. Now they are linked. I'm actually not shown that, but it should be, that should be linking it to the button. Why is it not? Okay, what I wanted to show is check pressed. Global. Okay, so I've done something wrong here. No, that was fine. Anyway, I'm not finished with my pattern. That's what's going wrong. I'm just gonna leave it here for good measure, so that I don't forget by the end of the stream. Now I'm gonna draw the button so that we can put it on screen. Think I don't. Yeah, check pressed is all I need. I'm not gonna put a keyboard. Just so we're gonna draw it. Function button draw. There's nothing to put in the parameters. Everything's gonna be done here. What would be the yeah, I don't know how to get the font with the love to the love graphics, love font, I guess. Would it be? No, I think it's in love graphics font. Get font. Okay. Get height. And get font. Okay. What I'm gonna do. Get the font height dynamically, so that it scales. If you ever have to scale the window up or down, local font graphics. So this should take the dimensions. Okay, so I've stored the dimensions of the font into a variable called font, and now I'm gonna use get height. That's what it is. Yeah, get height. On that variable, so front get height. No, not front. Font. Get height. And that's going to give me the height of the text. It should. Okay, so the graphics. Color, did I put colors? Okay, colors are RGB, red, green, blue. Personally, I don't give a shit hard coding RGB in some small project. It truly is not the end of the world, but if you ever working with, I mean, this is Lua, so you're not, if you're interested in that, you're probably not working with a web page. But if you're working with a web page, you don't want to hard code your colors and dimensions and stuff like that. You need to store them, create classes. It's a little bit more complicated when there's people who are going to use your program. I set the color to I guess I don't need to reset it. So let's put an actual color, pink, I guess. RGB values in Love2D are floats. If you want to use 255, an RGB value with a 255, you just need to make it into a float by so let's say I wanted 420, like 0.42. That's not going to give me that won't work anyway. Yeah, okay, yeah. Love2D colors, RGB colors, are in percent. So you're not gonna get 255 RGB values from the default like that. What you need to do, if you want 255 values, you need to divide it by 255. So let's say, so it would be 255 because it's a float. 255 divided by, oh, let's say 140. So yay, but I think it looks kind of shitty. If you just want to make text, you can just make you can just work with the limited RGB values that Love2D gives you. I guess otherwise you would have you can make a variable here like local pink. I just didn't want to calculate it in my mind. Yes. Google pink. So that would be 1%. I'm not sure. This looks so stupid. Yeah, to change hex color. What is the reasoning behind? What was the reasoning for changing set color from RGB 0255 to 01? Yeah, okay, so that's how it is, the 255. Semicolon does sound like a code word for a prolapse. It does. $255 divided by 40%. Okay. Divided by 100. 100. Alright, okay, finally, I'm on track, Okay, so we get pink here, we set the color for pink, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the background, of the button. I'll start with the background of the button. I'll leave it with its color so I remember. No need for a comment. Sometimes you can signal your intention without comments in code by leaving indentation spaces, or just sometimes the functions are self-explanatory. You don't need to waste your time writing a bunch of comments. Just like I used to do that before to be like, to sort of prove that, hey, I worked on that code, look, I left comments, but fuck, nobody look at it. It's pointless. If you work with people, I mean, it's good. They're good habits to pick on. Because when you work with people, you're gonna be lost. Like, it's not a good idea to tell yourself, yeah, I'll be fine if I work with people. I'll adapt. No, you won't. Oh, welcome back, Duckbringer. I hope the food was good. I'm not setting color. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make a rectangle. Okay, now, okay. Workflow. Let's go see Love Graphics rectangle. Let's go see the options. Rectangle. Arguments, Love Graphics. So I can make segments. This is radius of each round corner. Oh, this is cool. I can make round corners directly with the rectangle function. And that's here and here. All right, let's go. So mode is fill or line. All right, we're gonna put mode is gonna be fill. Position X, position Y. Oh man. I'm not supposed to put. Okay, so the first rectangle. Okay. First rectangle is going to be the actual position of the button. It's going to be the actual size of the button. Self X, self Y. This is the background. This is the background of the button. Self blah, blah. Self width. Self height. Yeah, RX. I guess we're gonna make 5 pixels for the round corners. Should be. I guess that should be enough. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I put in my button. Real quick. Now we're gonna make another element of the button. We're gonna make a little line in the middle to give some sort of a buttony contrast thing. It's gonna be the same color but a little lighter. So let's make another color. Let's say 200. Okay. By 255. Yeah. Once again, I'm going to. So every time you create a new element, basically it just draws over the previous ones, and so you need to reset your color at each element that you are drawing. And the order is very important. You can't just put your arguments anywhere. It goes from top to bottom. I mean, your statements. Can't just put your statements anywhere. It goes from top to bottom. It's important to remember when you're drawing elements on screen to remember the order. Sometimes it can get a little bit confusing, but it's best to keep your elements into small modules. I find it better to keep your elements into smaller module. If you want to get fancy, you take that factory pattern that has all of the basics necessary for just a button, regular button functionality, and then you can add to it. Okay, I did make the color light pink. Light pink. We're gonna make another rectangle. Fill. And this one, it's gonna be a little bit inside of the button, so we're gonna add 5 pixels. So it really is just the same as above, self.x plus 5. So it'll just push. It'll just be 5 pixels further. Let me think. Yeah, it's gonna be plus. Well, I will check if it works when testing. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so I have 5 pixel. Next one I'm gonna make well, it's width and height. I think 10 pixel. Yeah, -10. Jesus, this is like shit. I don't like that. Can you? The linter doesn't pick it up. Oh yeah, it does. Okay. The corners. I know the text, so we're just gonna put some black text. No, it's text, so it's not color or rectangle. It's a new function. It's print. Well, I'm sort of familiar with print. You can look up the documentation if you're lost. Whenever you're lost, look up the documentation. Do your best to find whatever you need inside of the doc, the reference guide that's here. This one right here. Always have the reference guide open. If you really can't, like, I'll say it. I don't give a shit. I'm not ashamed. Like, if you can't work with the manual and books, you can use an LLM. But you're not really giving yourself like, you're not giving yourself a favor by using LLM all the time when you learn to code. Maybe if you're a person that has a really high workflow, then you could use LLM as like an assistant, like literally someone else you're working with. But it's not a good idea. In general, it's like, especially if you want to prototype, if you want to create something for yourself. Like, programming is a creative activity. It might not look like it's creative because people who do it are fucking nerds and are like sort of focused on this worldview. You know, there's a market, there's a worldview, there's an industry that people who go in programming appeal to, but it's not just that. Programming is a very creative activity. It is almost overwhelming how much, when you learn the basics, how much of a blank page, how much you can do everything with programming, and it's sort of overwhelming trying to create things. You just sit there and like, why bother? Like, clearly someone else did it better than me. I can definitely find like instances where it would be an absolute waste of time for me to do it, but you have to do it anyway because it's fun, it's creative, and this is how we're gonna beat the techno-feudalist lords and shit. But I'm gonna develop more on that maybe in the next episode. Now I have to sort of demonstrate my technical ability, however limited. And also, if you're looking to learn about Lua, I'm probably not the best person to teach anyone about Lua, but I will show constructs and stuff like that, so that could be a good idea. I mean, I'd love to live code, I'd love to do game jams. I don't want to attract a high-level, extremely literate crowd of programmers. Actually don't want necessarily, I don't necessarily want these people in my like, I've had problems with developers a lot, being looked down, talked down to. With reason, a lot of time, a lot of the developers, they're just like, they don't have time to waste with your bullshit when you're a newbie. Or they're just assholes. But, yeah, I forgot what I was saying, but that's okay. I guess I've said it all. Now let's print the stuff on the button. What I've done here is, it's text. Now print, I'm gonna look at the documentation. If we look into love graphics, printf draws formatted text with word wrap and alignment. The word wrap limit is applied before any scaling, so that's what I want. I want it to word wrap. Therefore, okay, so that the amount of text stays constant. Those are the parameters. Limit? What is limit? Okay, I got everything I need. I made this. Okay. Let's build it. Now, the functions I'm making there is the same thing as what I'm looking at in the reference guide. Like, those functions were made by the people who made Love 2D, and I'm using their reference in order to add my functions to it. Well, right now I'm just using their functions. So it's like, it's tables inside of tables, inside of tables, inside of tables, inside of more tables, and then you get functions to manipulate all of this stuff. Okay, so we're gonna start with the self-text. And then the position X. Oh, I forgot something here. So I forgot to calculate the middle. I got the text height. But I need to find the middle of the button. So local XY. Okay, so the position of text Y equals position Y plus height of the button, no, height of the, why am I putting, is that good? Should I be putting this there? Yeah, because it's the height of the button minus the text, the height of the text, and then I want it in the middle, so divided by 2. God. So here we're gonna just put text Y because I've already called it self in the other one. That's not extremely clear, but fuck you. If anybody complains about my methods, I'm just making a button. You know, doesn't need to be perfect. And I think it's center that I need. I think center is align. God damn it, doesn't say. I'll go check. Center, left, right, justify. Okay, so I'll do center. and then reset the color. And reset the colors to white. Okay, this is a button. That was long. This, oops. I want to do the opposite. This is called a factory pattern method. It's probably one of the most common design patterns you will encounter. I mean, Lua is different, but once you start jumping from languages, there are some things that just come back around. I just find Lua is it's a very readable language. It's clean. This is not very clean code, but it still looks okay. It's still readable. I mean, the variables here, they suck. I have to admit. There's some hard coding. Ultimately, it would be better. Would be instead of putting 10, 5, I would put 8. Let's just do it. I'll just do it. So, like a descriptive variable to define. So that was what was it again? That was a corner. Local corner. What was it called in the manual? For rectangle graphics. Graphics. I guess it's drawable. I said so. Lua doesn't have objects. Now you can see it in object superclass here. That was added by the Love2D people that made the engine. Some people would say that learning with an engine is not a good thing because you're going to learn how to work that engine rather than the program. I mean, a programming language you're trying to learn. I don't know. I don't have. I think that all methods of learning are good. If something isn't working for you, like if you're not having my criteria is if you're not having fun coding with it, if you're not enjoying it, if it's not making you creative, it's not making you want to code, should probably not that's a method that's not good for you. That's not something that anyone can really tell you. And that's something that people will criticize you a lot for. So I guess being a DIY developer, it's really important to be able to take criticism. You're gonna get lots of criticism. Not always constructive. Like if you're in school, it's already implied that you're a student. That you're gonna suck and you're gonna do some stupid mistakes here and there. But if I mean, my cat wants me to open window and door. Okay. Yeah, my philosophy is just go with whatever works for you. If your objective, if your goals are to make money and slop and poop code as fast as you can, it's probably gonna suck. It's gonna be slow. And I don't know. These people aren't gonna be here watching me code. I'm not the kind of person that they would be interested in, I guess. Don't come here if you like that. Please leave. This isn't a place for schooling each other. Programming. I wish the culture of programming let go a little bit of its rigorous theme. But I guess they have to keep it like that, because then it would be unsafe. People would start coding and do unsafe stuff. If you're coding, if you have projects, whatever language you're using, whatever shitty methods, whatever people think of it, just keep coding. You're gonna learn through doing it. I'm just gonna shut the fuck up and put my integer already. Local corner is gonna be 5. Actually, you can call it, yeah, corner. Right, so that was my point. I was like, oh, I should not hard code the values here. I mean, what's more readable? The 5 or the corner? At least like this, it explains what the fuck it is. So there's that. Like I'd rather do this than explain shit in comments. If you have to explain stuff in comments, it's because it's very bad. Like it's extremely complex stuff. You're probably, unless you're a genius, and I am not, you probably shouldn't write extensive comments. It can be helpful, but it can just fuck you up. And like sometimes I come back to snippets I've made and I'm like, why did I put this comment? Like it just makes it more like, see, I wrote get the font height twice. Should just not fucking, like, you know, I get it. It gets the font dynamically. No need for comment. Those go together. This is separate. Yeah. I mean, those are. I'll just leave them like that because I kind of forgot how it looks like in my mind. Yeah, okay, so this is to reset the color. It's done. Alright, that's good. Now, in order to work this, we're gonna do what I did earlier. So, local in requires in Lua, they're always like this. There is no there's no EX6. You know, there's no different modularization of things. So that's one thing that's cool. I was a little bit lost learning JavaScript. I learned like I picked up a book. It would just teach me common JavaScript, which apparently is very bad. I found out when I started talking to JavaScript developers and showed them my code. So, yeah. Of course, always set anything you store, you set it as a local variable. Button. And now this is the constructor. What a constructor does, it takes all the bullshit we just wrote and then just give me the parameters. Oh well, it's not. I'm just gonna look at it manually. Right, so XY with height. Well, I'll be damned. Right, I'm gonna be putting it just on top of the screen. I'm just gonna put 100 with height. I don't know, what did I do usually? Is 96 by 32. Yeah, those are factorials. 32. text is gonna be yo. Not too much. I don't want to break. I'll put a couple. It's so dumb to be undecided about a random string of text. That doesn't matter. Alright, so now I'm gonna put my func. I'm gonna make an exit button. That's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna work. The function is gonna be. Let's exit again. It's love.event exit. Func from there's none. Right, so I've created my button. Okay, yeah. What this does, basically, this variable is not exactly local. It says local, but it's global because we are on the main loop. So, but that doesn't matter. Because it's just it's a require, so it doesn't matter. But like here, it redefines it. If I was to use the button without this constructor, it would just give me a nil. So and I would make the program crash. Now update, it needs to be there, but it doesn't need anything in it yet. Right, we're gonna draw the button. We're gonna draw it on yeah, I'll just go directly on the. I don't know if I'll have time to make the finite state machine today. I'm a slow little fun guy. Right. You can take this and you can like make it more readable. I don't give a shit, honestly. But you can make like you can put this like that. Lua doesn't care about spacing and indentation, so you can really put it the way you want. I think this is a little bit more readable. However, and you can like put comments to like I said, you shouldn't. If you end up having a bunch of these, now I'm just gonna put the ones. It's not the end of the world. It could be a good idea to make a module for the buttons themselves. So you just make a factory pattern. Well, the abstract here's the module that we built. That's a button here. It will. You can instantiate it like this, but you can also instantiate it with its own factory. Usually that's better if you want to like create multiple entities. However, for a button, it's good to have it deployed like that, not on your main file, but whatever workspace you're working on, which is the main file right now. But it's up to you to decide where you want to put the stuff. Okay, so now once it is instantiated, I'm gonna draw it. So I believe that it's really just freaking. I think it's really just. Resetting colors with white. just gonna make the button draw. Oh, it's gonna be. There is a thunderstorm outside. I'm scared. I'm scared, chat. Fried haddock. I love fried haddock. I love fish and chips. It's very good. The best fish and chips I've ever had. I was in Vancouver. It was just so good. Fresh. Vancouver is a beautiful city. A little bit too beautiful, actually. It's too clean and expensive. Right, okay, so my button is drawn. I don't need to do anything here. I just need to put the button. It's gonna be drawn. And, I put cell. What the fuck? Okay. Time to Alt L. I don't know if I can. It would be nice if I could have the output inside of. I never use that. I just use the. I just launch the game and use the console. So we've got a stack error main Lua 4. Button is a nil value. It's returning a nil value. Wonderful. So yes, that would make sense. I know why. My constructor is wrong. You see? This is wrong. What I need to do is I need to give it a name. So it's gonna be exit button. I need to make it a object of itself. Yep, that should work. Maybe I need to make it itself, but I'll check that. Okay. That would be why. Lovely, don't quit. Alright, so this worked, but it quit it. The joys of programming. It quits automatically because I did not do this. No, that's not. Right, yep. I'm gonna... Yeah, this is wrong. This is not something this is something I put really earlier. It doesn't belong here. So right now I'm gonna use the check press function to check for the mouse. Check for mouse returns. And now I'll be able to test it. So if do I need to pass along parameters? I don't think so. If button equals 1, alright, I know that's a ball, it's a Boolean, but that's just how it does. That's just how the Love 2D engine works. It records 0 or 1 instead of balls for metadata. So that is data that was not manipulated within this Lua script, but that's manipulated within the C API. So inside of Windows and other programs that the Love 2D engine plugs to. So if the button is pressed, if the condition is true, we're gonna execute the check press. So if self exit button much yeah self no, I don't think there needs anything else. Play exit, I mean check press X, Y button touch now. I'm gonna put some print. position it, right? I do that a lot. Just try everything, brute force, and then I'll go try in the manual, and ask for help if I don't figure it out. So I remove self. God damn it! Well, it might just be because I'm on the main loop. So I'm gonna make a. I'm gonna make a. I don't know. I should make a finite state. Ultimately, in that would prevent it from closing as soon as I open. But I don't wanna. Okay, well, while there's some dead air, I could, while I try to retrace the stack and debug, which I can't do. I cannot hot reload with Love2D. That's sad, because there is a library to do it. I would have to set it up. It's gonna come eventually. And then I'll be able to hot reload. I know that I can do it directly on OBS. I can do it with Lua script and WebSocket. Lua scripts would probably be more realistic. Okay, so the problem is that my exit button executes right away. It executes right when I open the program. Therefore, the problem is most likely in how I detect the position. So I must have made a mistake here. Let's review. Let's review this graph. Let's look at it carefully. Mouse X plus button. This is the joy of programming. You're gonna be stuck. You're gonna be stuck a lot, and you better start to like it. You better start to like getting stuck and looking at the same crap for long periods of time, because it's gonna happen a lot. It's part of the life of the developer. You're constantly wishing for the end. Yup. You know what? I'm just gonna remove these parameters. I'm just gonna go with the X and Y. Yeah, we're gonna try this. I'm gonna try removing the cursor, because I did set the cursor radius without a cursor radius existing. It's like in case there was one in the future. So I'll handle this when there is one in the future. Another nice resource that I like to use is the Learn X in Y minutes. It's very nice. It's a very nice website. It's free, open source. You can get it on GitHub. You can get it on your browser, and it has very, very short memory reference guides in order to remember syntax, mostly methods. Yeah, I am constantly on this website. It's been extremely valuable. Where are the arithmetics? Okay, it looks like I did not need brackets here. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna try first. Oh love event quit. Oh well, I'm a little bit sad that I'm doing my debut alone. And the exit button should be okay. Right, okay. Maybe I'll just Right. Whee! Alright, I'll bring it up on screen. Oh, it's already. Oh, that's sick. OBS remembers. Yay! Right. So this is what it is. Oh fuck. Cool. So this is just give me the. All right. This is the button. Yay! Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it the coolest button you've ever seen in your entire life? Huh? Look at this. Look at it. Look at that button. Right. I'm going to reduce this window. Oh yeah, I mean. All right. Well, that was today's design. I think I'll stop here. Right? It took me so much time just to just to make this button. Wow. Okay. So that was today's design pattern. It's a button. I mean, if you want my button, just ask me. I'll send you the link. But it's in my GitHub repo. I mean, it's not the most. You can probably find better buttons out there, but you can try and make your own. You know, you can try and see what I've done with this button and try and do the same thing, or differently, whatever. That's what I've done. Like I saw someone do a tutorial. They actually did the button entirely in the main file. And so it was different. It was a procedural code. I just took, I looked at what they did and I was like, okay, I'll do the same. That can be a good way to learn. That is not LLM, and that is not interview problems. Like sometimes you want to learn to code. You don't want to learn puzzles and fucking like, you don't want to tickle you. Just want to make a button. You don't want to tickle your brain, you just want to make a button. So it can be nice to if you can read. Generally, like, it won't work if you only have one programming language, but eventually when you start to understand other programming languages, to understand the syntax, especially the syntax, and to be able to scope your project, to be able to understand that one idea, like this one idea you might have at the beginning, like, oh, I really want to make a bunch of numbers that move in random areas. It might sound really, really simple at first, but further down the line when you're creating your program, well, like people say, you're gonna accumulate a technical debt, because for me, that's what happened a lot with scope. Is I would have an idea. I'm like, this is not that big of a deal. I learn how to do it. I realize it's much more complicated than I first thought, and the entire scope. Like in my mind, I was like, okay, I can do this within 1 week. But then encountering a new concept, a new problem, will require me to learn a whole bunch of new things that I wasn't thinking about back then. I wasn't even aware these things existed. So that is one of the most, I think, crushing aspect of learning how to program, is to, well, you don't, like, you need to find mentors, not necessarily mentors. I can't work with authority, so that would be a bad idea, but you need to have seniors. You need to meet other developers that are better than you, or not, but like, you need to find people that have skills that are other than your skills, and you need to open up and learn from them. Learn from their criticism. It's very important, because you're not gonna have people who join, look at your code and say, oh, that code is fantastic. That's just not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Nobody can like, the only way you can make people really look at your code is if you make some stupid drama that has absolutely nothing to do with the code. Then maybe they're gonna look at it. I don't know. So there are certainly better ways to make buttons. This isn't the only way to make a factory pattern. Like, this is probably the most simple way. You've got the first element is your factory, your abstract factory composite. It contains all of the parameters, and then the two other functions are actions. So that's an extremely simple module, but every module, it follows the same kind of, like, generally in factory patterns. Generally they will follow the same kind of logic. And then in between the construction and the structural and behavioral functions that are below, you can put other things, like you can define other parameters, but it's generally recommended, like, you don't touch this is done. You don't go back into your class and start adding stuff to it. It's better to create another class, create another module, and extend the stuff that you have from this one. Because at the end of the day, if you start adding a bunch of variables into your modules and you change them, it's going to have repercussions in the long run. I mean, I made some typos here. I forgot about some of the syntax. I forgot about the self. I did a bunch of things wrong, and I had to go. And I mean, this is a button I've written before, so yeah, I'm certainly not the best coder out there. My message right now is just, I guess before leaving, my conclusion would be to don't be afraid of coding. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and show what you're doing, and don't be afraid to be criticized and basically to flop, to make mistakes. It's gonna happen. You're gonna make mistakes. You're going to look stupid here and there once in a while. You have to be able to appreciate when people help you, when people tell you advice that is good. You also have to be able to appreciate the bad advice, because I have a hard time giving good or bad advice for programming. I have a hard time with content creators who will say, like, apart from like a teacher that's really like trying to teach you how to program and how to do things precisely, I think there's so many ways you can go on in programming. Every code base will become unique as you progress on it. You're gonna have to write documentation. You're gonna have you're going to have to learn a lot of things, and it's not just coding. You're gonna have to learn how to wake up in the morning. You're gonna have to learn how to keep focused on a book, without skipping pages. You're gonna have to make your own exercises. I see people being like, I learned to code in 3 months, and I don't believe. Like I think that you can totally get to a point where you're able to code and go by your own in a few months. But I don't believe it's ideal. I don't believe that's how programming should be taken. It's a slow journey. Be learning. You're always going to be integrating different aspects of code from different people. Like I like looking at other people's code, trying to reach, if I'm able to interact with the developer, whether in their Discord server, and just interact with them and ask, how did you come up with this idea? I like to emulate what other developers did, sort of emulate the journey they took in and experience the things they've experienced. There's a couple things I said I would talk about in the title, but I did not. So I'm going to come back to it next week. I'm going to be streaming next week on Sunday, 4 p.m. I'll do my best to have some guests on. Otherwise, it's going to be this. I can take suggestions and questions and stuff like that, but I think I'm just gonna go and show some of the patterns that I'm gonna use in the future in order to build programs. So I have projects. I want to promote things that are not finished. So really, the project right now is me coding and doing my best to talk about what I'm trying to do while I do it. Music in the background. Thank you very much for showing up and listening to me. I hope to see you next week, or if we're in the future, I hope that this video was helpful. If not, you can leave comments. You can suggest ways that I could do better, or if you want to participate, also anything in the comment. I will read them. I don't think there's going to be many. That's it. Thank you very much. Have a good night, everyone. I just need to find the button.